We
Right.
made it because our culture is so into emotion determining reality. It bleeds over into church culture too, where emotions are spirituality.
So you talk about why it's important for men to take responsibility of their own spiritual life. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so this is really good news. Because I think a lot of guys feel like they're not very spiritual or that something's wrong with them. Maybe they're married and their wife is more demonstrative and emotional about her faith. Maybe she really enjoys the worship services or gets all excited about music. And maybe the guy doesn't. Sometimes it's reversed. I met one couple when I talked about this. She's an engineer. She's analytical. He's an artist. Yeah. But she always thought something was wrong with her because she didn't feel God's presence around.
Mm.
And I want to tell guys off the top of the rooftops, if you don't feel God around, it's okay. I don't most of the time, almost all the time, but that's how I'm wired. So that's not spirituality, though. We
Right.
made it because our culture is so into emotion determining reality. It bleeds over into church culture too, where emotions are spirituality. It's like, that's not a biblical idea. Guess what, guys? Good news. If you don't feel God around, it doesn't mean he left. It doesn't mean that he's fake. It doesn't mean that he's disgusted by your sin and will never have anything to do with you again. It has nothing. Your feelings can change based on what you just ate or whether your team lost yesterday or like your feelings do not determine reality. Spirituality in the Bible is loyalty.
Right.
So even as a sinner, I can keep going back and conversing and walking with God. I keep showing up. I'm loyal. It's called hesed in the Hebrew, but it's used many times to describe God's relationship to us, but also ours to him. That's what he's actually looking for. And if you're not particularly emotional, you don't feel anything, you can still be loyal. We know, guys know loyalty. We actually know what that looks like. And so I'm trying to say, this is something, no one's going to do it for you, but good news, this isn't about emotions and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. In addition to that loyalty, I think that one of the words that's really clear to men is duty.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're being divorced from duty as men, right?
Yeah.
But when we're told to take up our cross daily, first of all, it's every day. That's an ongoing duty. But I think as men, if we understand, okay, this sometimes may look like work, right?
Yeah.
That's a good place to start.
Yeah. So, right. So like loving your enemies each day. How am I going to do that?
Right.
Like, so this is a practical walking out. It's not based on my emotions, which wax and wane. But God's presence doesn't work like that. Like, it's not a matter of do I feel. So even I mentioned like David in Psalms, he'll stop himself and talk to himself and say, like, why are you so downcast, oh my soul? Put your trust in God. He's talking to his own soul. He does it multiple times where he addresses his bad thinking with the truth. Even if he's not feeling it, he can go, yeah, but it's still true. His mercies are new every morning. I may be a sinner, but I'm going to keep talking to him, and he's going to help me grow up over time.
This episode of Rapid Response was brought to you by CTC Math. Visit them at ctcmath.com today.